Hey everyone, welcome to the YOSHICAST. I'm Yoshi, and today is Tuesday, June 12th, 2018, and this is episode 4 of Bag Board. Yoshi! So my last trip to the comic book store was kind of interesting. I went to my normal, local, close comic book store, the Comics Place, and none of the books that they got in piqued my interest, really, and I had nothing in my pull list. So I dug through some of their back books and couldn't find anything there either. So I went to the secondary comic book store. This place is called Moonbase, and Moonbase is relatively new. It's in another part of town that I live in. And they've got, I guess, a more interesting back catalog of older comics. So it seems like every time I go in there, I find something. And this week it was no exception when I went into there. They seem to have gotten a bunch of new Punisher books, and by new I mean old books, but new for the store. And I bought a bunch of Punisher books. And so this week we're going to be bag and boarding a bunch of Punisher books. So first up is Punisher Warzone issue number 1. So in the past, you've heard in my older videos that I'm really into Punisher, and I've been picking up the original run so that I can read through that. I'm also going to start picking up some of the side runs and see how they fit with the original run, or if they fit with the original run. Online, looking at some message boards, I've heard that Warzone has some really good story arcs in it. So I'm excited to have found these, especially the first issue and a few more, as you'll see. And I'm looking forward to reading them. But first, we got to bag and board these guys, so let's do that. That is a really cool cover with it's a lasered cutout cover. That is really cool looking. I'm digging on that. And this book is in pretty damn good shape. Oh man, that is gorgeous. And here it is, Punisher Warzone number 1. Sorry about the glare, but that thing just looks gorgeous. Just pops so well. Oh, this one looks great. This is a Marvel DC crossover. Punisher, Batman. This is a thick book. I don't know if this is technically a graphic novel, if it contains a couple of issues in one book, or if this is how they released it. I have to look into that. But this cover caught my eye. I'm really going outside the core run I wanted to focus on and read, but this just looks so good. You got the Joker hiding in the background there. Let's go ahead and bag this guy up. This is a thicker book, and it doesn't want to come out of this cheap plastic bag and board very well. This bag is just going to get ripped to get it out of there. Very stiff. Wow, this doesn't even look like it's been read. This looks like it was bought and bagged and boarded right away. The cover is still super stiff. It's not even bent. I mean, that's where the machine pressed on it. It's just not. It's never been read. I hope that doesn't indicate something about the story being terrible, if people bought it and then didn't read it. There we have it, Punisher Batman. Should be a very interesting book. I'm looking forward to reading this. Okay, now we've got some war journals to go through. Punisher War Journal issue number 1. There it is, Punisher War Journal number 1. That thing just looks so crisp in this bag. Alright, next up is Punisher War Journal issue number 2, guest starring Daredevil. Should be really cool. Crossovers are always fun. Check it out. And here's Punisher War Journal number 2, issue 2, guest starring Daredevil. Looking good. Now I love the coloring on this cover. It's very dynamic. Punisher War Journal issue 3. Just the lighting that's going on here. We're also still guest starring Daredevil here, and I think this thing's just gonna pop really well when I get it in the My Lights. And here is Punisher War Journal issue 3, and just like I thought, putting it in these bags and boards, this art just pops, just sharp and crisp and beautiful. It also, the coloring on this issue is just off the hook. It is gorgeous. I love it. And we got another one here with some great colors. This is Punisher War Journal issue 4. The art is really good on this cover. The colors are really good here. Let's go ahead and bag and board this puppy. And that is Punisher War Journal issue 4. Next up is Punisher War Journal issue 5, To the Death. This is a cover that must have just stood out like crazy on the comic book rack when it came out. That yellow is just screaming for attention on there. Alright, let's bag and board this guy. You know, these books, I've been having trouble with just about every single Punisher issue here I'm going through. I think these are the original owners of these books, Bags and Boards, and I'm guessing just by how snug these are in here and how difficult it has been for me to get these books out, that the comic book store I bought them from did not go through them and verify that nothing was clipped out. They just accepted for face value that this is a pristine copy of issue number 5 of Punisher War Journal. And for a couple of these books, I'm actually having to rip the bag to get these books out because they're in there so snug. These are just the cheapest, bare bones bags and boards that I can't believe I'm having to just rip these off, rip these bags to be able to get my book out. Man. These books have been in pretty good condition as I've been going through them. Some yellowing on the pages, some dings on the covers. I don't know how much of that shows up on camera, but the spines on almost all of these have been very, very good. The corners have been very, very good, but the covers themselves have had ding marks in them where somebody set something on top of it or it just was dinged from the printer, and some yellowing on the outsides of the pages. It's nothing terrible. Like, you know, I want to read through these. I'm not collecting these books for posterity's sake. I'm genuinely interested in this character, and I genuinely want to sit down and read through these. And yeah, but man, these are some chintzy bags and boards that I'm having to rip them apart to be able to get my books out. It'd be a pain in the butt if I was just sitting down to read them. I'd be bummed out. Like, now I have to buy new bags and boards because I had to rip it to get my book out. And that's issue number 5 of Punisher War Journal, To the Death. Next up, ooh, I recognize this guy. This is Punisher War Journal issue 6, part 1 of 2, guest starring Wolverine. I'm sure these two are going to get off famously together. I might have to do a video where I go back and I talk about these books after I've read them. And this is The Punisher War Journal issue 6, guest starring Wolverine, part 1 of 2. And it says, meeting for the first and maybe the last time. And finally, for my haul this week, I have The Punisher War Journal issue 7, part 2 of 2, the Wolverine, guest starring Wolverine, Survival of the Fittest. Let's go ahead and bag and board this guy up. And finally, The Punisher War Journal issue number 7, the final Wolverine crossover, part 2 of 2. Just looks great in this bag and board. Just looks so awesome and crisp. Thank you guys so very much for joining me this week, going through my comics with me as I bag and boarded them. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. You'll find links in the description for the bags and boards I use. And until I get some more comics, you guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.